His Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço, Chair of the African Union Heads of State Assembly and President of the Republic of Angola, and Her Excellency Ana Dias Lourenço, First Lady of the Republic of Angola. His Excellency Felix Antoine Tshisekedi Tshilombo, President of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. His Excellency Taye Atske Selassie, President of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. His Excellency Duma Gideon Boko, President of the Republic of Botswana. Her Excellency Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah, President of the Republic of Namibia. His Excellency Brice Clotaire Oligui Nguema, President of the Gabonese Republic. His Excellency Gervais Ndirakobucha, Prime Minister of Burundi. His Excellency Robert Bourgret Mambe, Prime Minister of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire. His Excellency Russell Miso Dlamini, Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Eswatini. His Excellency Manuel Ossa Nsue Nsua, Prime Minister of the Republic of Equatorial Guinea. His Excellency Christian Louis Nsé, Prime Minister of the Republic of Madagascar. Her Excellency Ntomeng Justina Majara, Deputy Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Lesotho. Ambassador Troy Fitrell, Senior Bureau Official for the Bureau for African Affairs, U.S. Department of State. His Excellency Mahamoud Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union Commission. His Excellency Wamkele Mene, Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area. His Excellency Akinwumi Adesina, President of the African Development Bank Group. Her Excellency Nardos Bekele Thomas, Chief Executive Officer of the African Union Development Agency. His Excellency Ambassador Gilberto de Piedade Verissimo, Chairperson of the Economic Community of Central African Countries. His Excellency Elias Magosi, Executive Secretary, South African Development Community. We also welcome all the ministers and heads of delegations of the countries here present. Please remain standing for the national anthems of Angola, United States, and the African Union. Thank you. Please be seated. Peço a toda a imprensa para se retirar desta parte de frente e mesmo aqui da nossa lateral. As câmaras supostamente são exatamente para ficar atrás. Thank you. My name is Carla Castro, and it is my honor to be your Master of Ceremonies. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the US-Africa Business Summit hosted by the Corporate Council on Africa in partnership with the Government of Angola. To begin this opening ceremony, I would like to welcome the President and CEO of Corporate Council on Africa, Florizel Lizé.
Good morning. Your Excellency, President Lourenço, all Excellencies, heads of state and government, heads of African institutions, private sector executives and CEOs, esteemed ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, good morning. It is truly a pleasure to personally welcome you, all of you, to the 2025 US-Africa Business Summit here in Luanda, Angola. This year's theme, Pathways to Prosperity, reflects more than just the economic possibilities ahead for the United States and the nations of Africa. It speaks to the work, dedication, and relationships that make trade, investment, and business between the US and the continent of Africa possible. It reminds us that prosperity is built through partnership, trust, and a commitment to unlocking opportunities that benefit all of us. For over 3 decades, the Corporate Council on Africa has been privileged to convene and work alongside governments, businesses, and institutions that believe in strong US-Africa commercial ties. From increasing trade flows and investment opportunities to supporting critical infrastructure and digital transformation and convening our flagship US-Africa Business Summit, our collective efforts are shaping a future where Africa and the United States thrive together. I was delighted when His Excellency President Lourenço participated in the summit 1 year ago in Dallas and championed his vision for Angola to host the 2025 US-Africa Business Summit, and here we are today. But our journey to this very moment is bigger than just the summit. It is a reflection of the enduring partnership between the United States and the nations of Africa, a partnership built on shared prosperity, mutual respect, and a commitment to unlocking new opportunities for trade, investment, and business. The Corporate Council on Africa works every day to share Africa's story of unprecedented growth, innovation, and boundless investment potential. Across the continent, we see entrepreneurs bringing fresh ideas to life, industries expanding in new directions, and communities finding ways to build a stronger future. The U.S. private sector is a critical part of that journey, not just as investors, but as long-term partners committed to collaboration and shared success. So today, I encourage all of us to approach this summit with a spirit of collaboration. Let's think beyond just business deals and transactions, but towards long-term transformation. Let's build connections that go beyond boardrooms and into real, lasting partnerships in our lives. I'm inspired by the leadership in this room, excited about the conversations ahead over these next few days, and optimistic about what we will accomplish together. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to us having a fantastic summit. Thank you.
I have the pleasure now to call the CCA Board Chairman, John Holahide.
Good morning, everyone. You know, I've spoken at forums like this before, and people that know me well enough know when I say hello or good morning, I expect people to say hello and good morning back. So I know you can do much better than that, so we're going to do that again. Good morning, everyone. Okay, we're just warming up. Let's do that one more time. I want this to be as raucous and enthusiastic as possible. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you. That's more like it. Thank you, Flory, and good morning, Your Excellencies, honorable ministers here, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and as we like to say in Africa, all protocols observed. As the chairman of the Corporate Council on Africa, I am honored and to welcome you to the 17th U.S. Africa Business Summit. And I want to take this moment to congratulate President Lorenzo on the 50th anniversary of this nation and also on your chairmanship of the African Union. Let's put our hands together for President Lorenzo. Congratulations. You know, as an African with successful businesses on both continents, in the US and across Africa, in some ways, this summit embodies in some ways, I embody what this summit represents and really what it aims to achieve. Earlier in my life, I traveled from Nigeria to Dallas, Texas to go get a college education. I used what I learned and took advantage of the opportunities that I saw to create the world's leading home healthcare technology company. Today, it's a global leader in technology to power the delivery of the highest quality healthcare at home, and it continues to grow and impact millions around the world. While doing so, I've always remained engaged in Africa. And in recent years, I've been using my good fortune to make investments that help create jobs by establishing businesses to help Africans prosper. Today, my Africa-focused holdings and investments company, Cavista Holdings, has investments in several sectors across different countries. We have investments in software technology, agriculture, hospitality, fintech, and some others. Now, as the chairman of CCA the past few years, I've been working with a team to build on all the success that CCA has had over the years, to build on the success of those who've contributed to all that CCA is today, and especially during the first 3 decades, and helping both Africa and America benefit from the demographic realignment in our world that will make Africa much more important to the global economy in the decades to come. Each year, the U.S.-Africa Business Summit serves as a forum for U.S. and African businesses and government leaders to conveniently get together and meet each other and spend time together, make connections, have conversations, and amplify all the success that's already happening. I very much look forward to working closely with all of our U.S. and African leaders on the government and private sector sides and other stakeholders to accelerate economic development, foster transformative partnerships between the U.S. and Africa, and improve the lives on the continent, improve the lives of everyone on the African continent, in the U.S., and all over the world. The rich variety of sessions at this year's summit highlight the areas of opportunity for adding value. And I believe that if we all lean in with intention, we can unlock all the value creation that's needed across the continent. The recent outstanding summits in Marrakesh, Morocco, Gaborone, Botswana, and Dallas are tough acts to follow. I know that. But I am confident that all of you will learn a lot by being here and explore all the different opportunities that we'll learn from each other as we spend our time in Luanda, Angola. A few facts, if I may share, that highlight the opportunity presented over the next few days and in the decades to come. Africa's GDP has been growing at a rate that surpasses the global average. The continent is home to 6 of the top 10 world's fastest growing economies, offering immense business opportunities, immense opportunities to create value and transform lives across the continent. Africa has a rapidly growing middle class, with consumer spending expected to surpass $2.1 trillion this year alone. Now, with the launch of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, Africa, as we all know in this room, now has one of the world's largest free trade markets of $1.3 billion. People, let me say that again, 1.3 billion people and a combined GDP of $3.4 trillion. Did you hear me say that? 1.3 billion people and a combined market of $3.4 trillion. That's an incredible market, and that's poised to grow a lot because I think there are lots of areas that are still left untapped. Intra-African trade will expand, and Africa will also play an important role in global shifting supply chains. I want to thank all of our esteemed guests, including all the heads of states represented here. It's really an honor to have you all here. And numerous U.S. and African government leaders, thank you so much for taking the time to be here and demonstrate your keen interest in doing business on the African continent, creating value, and transforming lives. I encourage everyone here to start having conversations about opportunities that might be available and take the time to build the meaningful relationships that are the foundation, like Fleury said, of all great and lasting partnerships. My sincerest hope is that we will all have the opportunity to reflect back in years to come and say with pride that during this summit, we made connections that made a difference and also resulted in improving the lives of millions of people around the world. And working together, ladies and gentlemen, I know that we can. Thank you all so much, and welcome again to this summit.
Thank you. I would like to welcome the head of U.S. delegation on behalf of U.S. government's Ambassador Troy Fitrell, Senior Bureau Official for the Bureau for African Affairs.
Bon dia, Angola. Bonjour, bonjour à tous et à toutes, and good morning, everyone. Senor President, all the heads of state and government here, as my friend John said, all protocols observed. But especially welcome to the private sector. You're why we're here today. Thank you for being here. I'll say it's wonderful to be home, because I always feel at home in Angola. I first came here 25 years ago, and I have to say, Angola has changed a lot in 25 years. When we sit here and have this summit, after some 28 years of the Corporate Council on Africa, big thanks Flory, John, think of the difference in Angola from 25 years ago to today, and see that you're on a trajectory that is just astonishing. Sometimes we dwell too much on the negative, and we need to recognize the positive. When you look at what Angola has done over 25 years, when you look at what Angola has done over the last couple of years, it's astonishing. And that mirrors everything that's happening on the continent today. Africa is not the same place it was 25 years ago. And that's why this conference, this summit, has evolved over the 28 years we've been doing this. And that's why our relationships evolve over the 25 years that we've been doing this. When we met many of us met in Abidjan at the CEO Forum last month, and we unveiled a new commercial strategy for the United States government. And we did that because the world has changed, the United States has changed, markets have changed. The economies are vastly different today than they were 25 years ago. And we felt that we needed to have those kinds of changes in our US government activities. So let me just quick run down. The first thing we did was a complete new emphasis on commercial diplomacy. Our embassies, I'm talking to you, private sector, our embassies work for you. We have changed the incentive structure. This is their primary goal, and this is what we judge our ambassadors on how well they support you. And to our heads of state and government here today, if our ambassadors are not bringing business deals and commercial opportunity and sustainable economic growth to you, ask them why they're not, because they should be. They should be with you, offering opportunities every day. The second thing is to look at the overall kinds of market reform. What do businesses need to survive? And you know who we ask about that? We ask AmChams, American Chambers of Commerce. We ask the private sector, what do you need? And the fantastic thing is, every government I've worked with across the African continent also wants to have a better business environment. If it were easy, it would have happened yesterday. But it's hard, so we're doing it tomorrow. But we work with the private sector, we work with the AmChams on this to make this happen. This is a real, true partnership. Third, we need massive investments in infrastructure. That's targets of opportunity. And when we say infrastructure, people normally like to think, okay, sure, railroads, maybe some power grids. Let's not forget digital. You cannot participate effectively in the modern economy without a safe and reliable digital architecture in your countries. And all the people who do these for all forms of infrastructure and for the equity that finances it are here in this place today. We'll be engaging throughout this conference, but also every day and in every country in Africa going forward. The next are trade missions. We came today, this one's easy. We brought on, there's almost 1,000 business people here today. But all of our official travel in Africa, we will be carrying business leaders with us everywhere we go because this is a priority. Next, I don't have to convince the people in this room. You're already here. But we've got 300,000 business-ready American businesses who aren't doing business in Africa. That's my job. We have to find them, we have to make sure they understand what's available here and bring them to the market as well. And last, it's awfully easy. I spend a lot of time talking to my host government counterparts about the things they ought to do. And I talk to all of you business people about all the things that you ought to do. But you know what, we have some work to do as well. And we have some homework to do. And that is, we need to make the US government institutions faster, more nimble, more aggressive. And that's why we have with us, we have the Development Finance Corporation, we have the Exim Bank, we have the Trade and Development Agency, we have the Department of Commerce. All of these entities work together now. And when I have, and many of you know, when you've had delegations coming to Washington, when you come to my office, I have DFC, Exim, and Commerce there with me. Because you should hear us all with one voice. We should all hear you with one set of ears. We do this. We have to work together on this. One of the reasons I'm so excited about the opportunities is because I believe the American way of doing business is incredibly useful for Africa. We are focused on the latest technology, the latest innovation. We invest in our workforces. We provide value over a life cycle. I always like to say that the General Electric Wabtec locomotives, 95% of all the locomotives ever built are still operating today, even the ones that are 60, 70 years old, because when you buy one, you buy for life. We have these opportunities, these kinds of investments. When you go look at an American company, you don't find Americans working on the shop floor. You find locals. But it's not just there. You find the technicians, the financiers, the accountants. You go into the boardrooms and you find locals there, because investing in the human capital is a fundamentally American way of doing business. How many Africans in this room are working for American companies, are leading American companies? Because that's how we do business, and that's what is valuable for being here. What I see are African governments, private sector, and the US government working together. And that's where we are. We have a common trajectory, we have a common goal, and we are working together. Somos juntos. Nous sommes ensemble. We are together. And this is a tremendous opportunity today. We're going to be doing deals this week, but we're also going to be giving rise to deals that we'll be doing for the next couple of years. This is the opportunity. It's wonderful to see you all here, and we're going to have a great week. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Ambassador Troy Fitzgerald. I would like to take these special moments to bring to the stage our keynote speaker for this opening ceremony, His Excellency João Lourenço, the Chair of the African Union Heads of State Assembly and President of the Republic of Angola.
Excelências, chefes de Estado, de Governo e chefes de delegações, Sua Excelência Mahmoud Yusuf, Presidente da Comissão da União Africana, Suas Excelências Vice-Presidente da República, Presidente da Assembleia Nacional e Presidentes dos Tribunais Supremos, Excelentíssimo Senhor Embaixador Troy Fitzgerald, Oficial Sênior do Bureau África do Departamento de Estado americano, Excelentíssimo Senhor Massad Boulos, Conselheiro Sênior para os Assuntos Africanos, Árabes e do Médio Oriente, Excelentíssimo Senhor Thomas Hardy, Diretor da Agência de Comércio e Desenvolvimento dos Estados Unidos da América, Excelentíssima Senhora Florizelle Lizer, Diretora Executiva do Conselho Corporativo para a África, distintos membros do Executivo, Excelentíssimo Governador da Província de Luanda, distintos presidentes do Banco Africano de Desenvolvimento, da AUDA-NEPAD, do Banco de Comércio e Desenvolvimento, do Banco Árabe de Desenvolvimento e da Corporação Financeira Africana, senhoras e senhores empresários americanos e africanos, caros convidados, minhas senhoras, meus senhores. É com elevada honra que me dirijo a todos vós, na qualidade de anfitrião desta cimeira empresarial, um espaço privilegiado para continuarmos a edificar um paradigma econômico baseado numa visão de parceria estratégica com vantagens recíprocas para o desenvolvimento das nossas nações e povos, umbilicalmente ligados por um passado histórico comum, a África e os Estados Unidos da América. Hoje, mais do que nunca, o continente africano posiciona-se como um dos grandes motores de fomento do crescimento global, com uma população jovem, inovadora e ativa, recursos naturais abundantes e crescente integração dos seus mercados. A África apresenta-se como um espaço privilegiado de oportunidades de investimento e de crescimento. Ao longo da última década, assistimos a profundas transformações econômicas em várias regiões africanas. Reformas estruturais têm sido implementadas para tornar os nossos países mais atrativos ao investimento, com foco na transparência, na integração regional, na estabilidade macroeconômica e na diversificação das nossas economias. O que está a acontecer em países como Angola e outros, onde a economia voltou a crescer de forma consistente a uma taxa de 3,5% no primeiro deste ano, é reflexo de uma tendência mais ampla no continente, que se reflete na afirmação da resiliência e dinamismo econômico dos nossos países. No entanto, para desbloquear plenamente o nosso potencial, devemos intensificar e acelerar ainda mais os processos em curso de integração econômica continental. Precisamos de corredores logísticos mais funcionais, regras comuns que facilitem a mobilidade de capitais, de mercadorias e pessoas. O fortalecimento da Zona de Comércio Livre Continental Africana é, por isso, uma prioridade estratégica e representa uma extraordinária oportunidade para a partilha de infraestruturas, de conhecimento, mercados e atração de investimento. Para torná-la uma realidade e garantir o desenvolvimento econômico e social da África, o continente vem lutando por conseguir, junto das instituições financeiras internacionais, como o Banco Mundial, o Fundo Monetário Internacional, junto de outras congêneres e da banca, condições mais justas e favoráveis de financiamento e crédito para o necessário investimento público em infraestruturas rodoviárias, ferroviárias, portuárias, de energia e água, de tecnologias de informação e comunicações. Minhas senhoras, meus senhores, os laços econômicos entre a África e os Estados Unidos da América têm potencial para crescer de forma significativa. As oportunidades de investimento privado direto estão em áreas-chave que correspondem tanto às prioridades do continente como às vantagens comparativas das empresas norte-americanas, na qual destacamos as energias renováveis, a agroindústria e segurança alimentar, perante uma disponibilidade de milhões de hectares de terras aráveis, abundância de recursos hídricos, bom clima, grande oferta de mão de obra jovem e uma necessidade crescente de modernização tecnológica e das tecnologias digitais, onde a inovação africana se cruza com a capacidade de investimento americana para criar soluções escaláveis. Destacamos também os minerais estratégicos, incluindo os minerais críticos para a transição energética global, cuja exploração responsável pode transformar as nossas economias e sociedades. Neste capítulo, esperamos mais do que capital. Contamos com parcerias que se enquadrem na soberania dos nossos países, que valorizem o conteúdo local, que promovam a transferência de conhecimento e que contribuam para a geração de empregos qualificados. Excelências, minhas senhoras, meus senhores, este fórum deve ser visto como uma peça importante nas relações econômicas entre a África e os Estados Unidos da América. A África já não é apenas um continente de grande potencial de riqueza mineral, de recursos hídricos e florestais, de crescimento demográfico inigualável, é cada vez mais um continente de decisões transformadoras e projetos concretos. Pretendemos e estamos a trabalhar para eletrificar e, consequentemente, industrializar nossos países, acrescentando valor às nossas matérias-primas, aumentando a oferta de postos de trabalho, para evitar o êxodo dos nossos jovens, que constituem nosso maior ativo, fazerem a perigosa e humilhante travessia pelo Mediterrâneo, com destino para a Europa e outros destinos na busca de emprego e de melhores condições de vida. Do norte ao sul e do Atlântico ao Índico, multiplicam-se investimentos estruturantes que estão a moldar um novo panorama econômico africano, desde o corredor de Lobito, que vai ligar por linha férrea o porto de Lobito no Oceano Atlântico ao porto de Dar es Salaam no Oceano Índico, e promete transformar o comércio intra-africano e intracontinental, as zonas econômicas especiais em expansão no continente, passando pelas iniciativas em curso para desenvolver cadeias de valor regionais em setores como os minerais críticos, a agricultura e a energia, apenas para citar alguns. Paralelamente, a transformação digital do continente africano está em curso e a grande velocidade. Startups e plataformas tecnológicas surgem diariamente, impulsionadas por uma juventude criativa e resiliente que encontra no digital uma via de inclusão, empreendedorismo e empregabilidade. Com mais de 70% da população africana abaixo dos 30 anos, não é exagerado dizer que o futuro da inovação global terá também a impressão africana, o que de alguma forma já vem acontecendo. Num mundo marcado por instabilidades geopolíticas persistentes no leste europeu, do leste europeu ao Médio Oriente, o continente africano, apesar de algumas bolsas localizadas de conflitos armados ou de tensão política, afirma-se como um parceiro de estabilidade e visão de longo prazo. As conjunturas externas reforçam ainda mais a urgência de aprofundarmos os nossos laços de confiança, cooperação econômica e segurança estratégica, onde o papel dos Estados Unidos da América é incontornável por terem um papel único à escala